If it is or if it ain't, it's gonna come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sons, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspirational juice. It is March the 24th, 2023, and today the topic is change. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope that you all had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fine. Oh, y'all. Changes. Yeah, I mean, well, yesterday for me was, pretty good overall. Your girl was doing regular stuff, going to work at the church. Little guy went to class, all that good stuff like that. All is well overall. A lot happened yesterday, but at the same time, not much, so it's just one of those interesting things. But anyway, I guess what I will share in this moment is that, there is some news that is probably the inspiration for today's topic. But I guess I'll hold off on, saying things officially or whatever the case is. But let's just say, I guess, there may be some new horizons ahead, right? It's so funny. I was on my way to work yesterday and I left out a little bit later than usual. And I noticed that there was this frontier in front of me. And it's like, I'm like, man, if these cars weren't in front of me, I would have been, there at least a little bit closer to the time. And so, yeah, when I paid attention to the car that was in front of me, it was a frontier. And I was like, I wonder if that's something. Are you trying to tell me something, Lord? Frontier, and I looked up that and everything like that. Nothing stood out to me in that moment. But anyway, I'll just say it like this, y'all. Listen, I think if nothing else, the Lord is showing me that I might need to prepare for change, right? And the interesting thing is I've been feeling a little weird about that. At least yesterday, because I guess on one hand, now that I'm a mom and all that good stuff, one thing I will say is I do feel, appreciated in the current position that I have at the church. I love that NJ has, I guess cultivated a great experience there and whatnot. And so with some of the news that I was receiving yesterday and feeling like I'm going to be uprooted or that will be uprooted is kind of like, as well as, I guess the normal stuff that you think about when you think about changes and whatnot. But I think one of the things I was kind of just reflecting on this morning is like, well, what is it about, this thing that is making me feel away, and what does this mean? Like, because on one hand, there will be changes, right? But then on another hand, it's like, not much will change, So, yeah, I mean, obviously these things were on my heart and mind this morning. I woke up pretty much at the sound of my alarm and, I guess I was distracted, maybe you could say, thinking about all these things, responding to the issue that I have been telling y'all about over the past couple of weeks as well. And yeah, so by the time my heart and mind cleared to finally listen to the the Soul Space app, as well as just kind of, and then finally starting to look up verses and whatnot, centered around change and whatnot, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to share with you guys the verses that I came across that brought me at least a little bit of peace in my heart and mind as I reflected on these things. I want to say again, before I started to listen to the prayer meditation, this idea of new horizons came into my mind. And I'm like, okay, well, it's the topic, But yeah, basically after listening to the prayer meditation and then looking up things about New Horizons, the word change stood out the most. And so that's what I decided to focus on this morning. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. Hebrews 13:8, it says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. So, I mean, that brought me a little peace this morning, understanding that at the end of the day, no matter what may be looking different in my life or whatever, Jesus is always the same. So that doesn't change regardless of anything else. And speaking of that, Joshua 1:9 says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So, yeah, we might be embarking on some new horizons real soon, y'all. And on one hand, I mean, it's like I said, I mean, I already kind of shared, like I'm a little indifferent, like I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm like, well, what does this mean? And all those different things. But there's some things I'm kind of like, oh, this is I don't know, y'all. Anyway, I feel like I'm all over the place right now. But anyway. Basically what I'm saying is that I know the Lord is going to be with me. And, I think as I was reflecting on like, well, what is it about this now that is making me feel away, right? And because I mean, I've always been open, right, to change or, different things and things like that. So I think maybe it's this becoming a mom thing, because maybe before I became a mom, I was more open, and then now that I am a mom, it's like, okay, but then I've still been open. I don't know. I think maybe because, again, feeling like I'm walking in my purpose, doing the things that I feel like God created me to do. I'm wondering how much of that is going to change, if that makes any sense. Or if that's going to change at all. Like, it might not, I don't think it's going to change anything that I'm doing or that y'all see me doing or whatever. But still, just when you get some fresh news or whatever, you're like, oh, what does this look like? Everything like that. But y'all just keep your girl in prayer. Just keep your girl in prayer. So let's keep going, y'all. So Ecclesiastes 3:1, it says, for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. So, I mean, I guess this was a reminder to me this morning that, I know we like to, sometimes we get in routines, right? Or sometimes we're like thinking that we know exactly what's going to be and how it's always going to be and things like that. And I mean, I guess this is a reminder that, that's not true. Like God, will do things according to his will, his way, his plan. And I know that already, I talk about it all the time when it comes to the cultivation period and all my time in Florida. And I know I was talking to a friend of mine because we met down there and everything. And, like I told y'all before, I left Florida, I guess you would say, kicking and screaming. Like that wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do at that time. And stuff, and I didn't understand, but now that I'm here, right, and I met my husband, and I have my son, and I started my businesses, and all of this different stuff is like, okay, I guess there was some meaning, some purpose to this thing, that the Lord did with me back then, and then so again, like it's the same thing in some ways, So we got to just trust the Lord. And I think after I read those 3 verses this morning and they encouraged me, they gave me a little bit of a boost of encouragement and whatnot. Ultimately, I guess I felt like the Lord was asking me, so do you trust me? Do you trust the Lord today? I know we kind of talked about trust the other day. So I'm like, all right, well, Lord, I mean, I do trust you and everything like that. I mean, we talked about yesterday as well, that his will and way is better than, anything that we can think of, really. Like, what was that verse that I came across yesterday? It says, this God, his way is perfect. And I was telling y'all yesterday that, sometimes I think we question that. I don't know if we believe that. We read it and we're like, okay. And then, but when it's active in our life, we're like, oh, wait, huh? What you mean your way is perfect? I don't know if I agree. But I mean, again, these are things that's on my heart and mind, y'all. Basically, there's some more verses that I put in the Go Deeper section, and they're familiar ones, y'all. Hopefully they encourage and inspire us on whatever you're going through in your life, whatever it may be, and whether the things are going to go the way I think it's going to go or not. Regardless, I still have to trust and depend on the Lord. And I think even in this moment, for example, again, even if things don't change, right? God is showing me that they can. God is showing me that, just be prepared, that some things and seasons and all this stuff may end and whatnot. So, trust him, walk with him, and things of that nature. So, here's a little reminder, just in case we struggle again with change and things like that. James 1:17, it says, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. So again, just another little reminder here that, in all, even if anything else changes, God doesn't change. I saw a quote centered around that this morning, and I didn't write it down because I didn't think about it at that moment. I just read it and then I just kind of scrolled. But yeah, just because, again, the surroundings or whatever the case is may change doesn't mean the call changes. It doesn't mean anything else changes. And it doesn't mean that God changes. It just means that, whatever changes, changes. I got another verse, y'all. 1 John 2:17. It says, and the world is passing away along with its desires, but whoever does the will of God abides forever. And that's what it says. Yeah, again, that's another reminder that things are, again, the Bible tells us our life is a vapor and everything like that. So I guess with that being said, I mean, we don't like change. Well, some people don't like change, but, and I didn't think that I didn't like change. But, yeah, well, I mean, again, we're going to see what the Lord do. Now, Galatians 5:24, which is the Bible verse of today, it says, and they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the affection and lust. So, friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Just a reminder, today is Friday, so we should have a new episode of the GSL Talk Show going live, and our friend, Mr. Chancellor Jackson, will be joining us tonight. So I hope that you guys check it out and catch up on him and what he has going on. Look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Hey y'all, I'm Nyla O'Neill with Anchor Providing Institute. We're located at 737 South Hill Street in Griffin, Georgia. Look, this program was birthed out of a will to help and push you closer to your dream, customizing each and every learning path for each and every student, giving you hands-on education with myself and other teammates. We're here to help you and drive you to be the best version of yourself. Look, we're a 12-week program, and it will be vigorous, but it will be worth the work. Put the work in, you will see it in the end. We are dedicated to seeing you not only finish our program, but to get certified. We are an accredited school through the National Phlebotomy Solutions, and we are so ready to meet each and every one of you. Contact us today.